What is going on, everyone? Welcome on into Coffee with Brodes. How are you today on this Tuesday morning? It's what, August 24th. The damn time is flying by. No Philly sports on last night, but we did see the Braves lose. The Yankees with the beatdown there. I saw Dansby Swanson tie the game up. It's funny. I was so pumped up for that game all night long, all day long. I was thinking about it. I played some basketball. All I thought about my whole damn day was I can't wait for Yankees Braves. After that Dansby Swanson home run around the second inning, I just passed out on my couch. I started drooling. I was sleeping. I was snoring. And I woke up and I saw the Yankees were winning. What the hell? I didn't even watch it. I was so bummed. I wanted to watch it all day. It's finally there, second inning, and I fell asleep big time. I took a hard crash, a hard snooze. So it is what it is. Had to get my energy somewhere. Unfortunately, that's what happened. But here we are today with a cup of coffee in our hands, and that's exciting. That's our transition. Let's take our first sips of coffee together, enjoy it. I went with a little hazelnut creamer today. I need something new every day, basically. I go for my change of pace, except for my Starbucks iced coffee that I'm addicted to, and I will be grabbing one of those 1,000% at some point throughout my next 24 hours. Amazing. So, good morning, Jim, Kevin, Gabriel, Han Squared, Aaron, Nolan, Evan, Adam, Phillies Nation, P, Jake. What's up? Thanks for hopping in. Thanks for hanging out. What's going on, everyone? How are you? Brodes, good morning. How's the fall brew? Oh, so I didn't even go. I did not go fall brew today just because I wanted to switch things up, but it's so damn good. It's so damn good. I'm thinking I gotta buy a couple bags of the Starbucks fall blend just in case, I don't know. I mean, it's probably going to be there for quite some time considering it's August, but I want to make sure I'm stacked up and ready to go. Yes, the Braves did actually lose. That's what happens when you play a tougher opponent, and we expected this to happen, right? They have San Francisco. They have one more against New York. They have San Francisco. They have the Los Angeles Dodgers. So we knew that they were going to be playing some tougher opponents than what they were playing. The problem is they have just as many afterwards. They're basically in the same boat as you, where they have some easier opponents after that. So it's more about them keeping their head above water, which I'd imagine they can do. And the problem also is it's not just about the Braves losing. The Phillies have to win. The Braves lose and the Phillies lose. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. That's a loss for the Phillies. So you also have to now start relying on the Phillies actually stringing together wins while the Braves string together losses. And I just don't know, outside of this very small amount of games here, that's how much that's going to happen in the long window of the rest of the way. That's funny, Aaron. Yeah, I don't know if anybody saw this. I mean, I'm sure everybody saw it, so I don't know why I said it like that. But the video of the dude running around at the Braves game where Flash was basically going to lose the race, and then my man tripped and fell about 2 feet or 2 inches, I should say, from the damn finish line, and he lost. He absolutely lost. It was so damn funny. It was so close. How do you choke like that? What a jag off. So funny. Phillies Nation is hoping the bats wake up today. Not just Reese, but everyone. Well, Reese's bat is already alive. I don't know why you got to say you're hoping for his bat to wake up. What you need to say is, I hope Andrew McCutchen wakes up. I hope Didi Gregorius wakes up. The individuals that haven't been putting the bat on ball very well are the ones that should be probably, in that sentence of needing to wake up more so than more so than Reese. Reese's bat's already up. It's alive. It's there. It had its cup of coffee. How many cups of coffee did Reese Hoskins' bat have? 6 billion with the explosion coming off his barrel the other day. You kidding me? 2 solo shots. You got a 3-0 count. Yeah, I'm gonna take this thing for a ride. And a 1-2 count, 2 strikes. What's protection? I'm not just poking it the other way. Bada boom, bada bang. Here's another solo shot. Let it keep happening. Let it keep going. Yeah, JT's another name that significantly needs to get a bit sharper. Now, I think Rhys Hoskins' bat in the lineup definitely helped him out. He had 2 hits, right? But here's what, and a home run, may I add. There was a stat I saw about how bad JT Realmuto was after that San Diego game. I want to see if I can find it here. Yeah, so he was 5 for 37 over his last 11 games. JT Realmuto connected on a high and away heater, homering the opposite field. Realmuto, 5 for 37 over his last 11 games, had a multi-hit game. So I mean, he was in the dumps. 5 for 37. Let's go. Let's go, JT. Let's go. Let's pick up that offensive production. Nice, man. That'll be a good time. Nolan's headed down to the ballpark today. It's always nice after they're on the road for a bit, to kind of see them back in action and to see them in Philadelphia after a couple games out there on the West Coast. So that'll be a fun time. Hopefully the weather's nice. I don't know what it's going to be like today. Maybe we'll do our Glenn Schwartz, bow tie Schwartz. I don't know if I have his picture still on here or not. We haven't brought up Glenn in a little bit of time. Here he is, my man. Here is my man. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. All right, here's our forecast for today. If you're going to the game, let's go to, we want it hourly, correct? Next 48 hours. Okay. At 7 o'clock tonight, it looks like we have ourselves sunny, 87 and sunny. Clear skies at 8 o'clock. Clear skies at 9 o'clock. Clear skies at 10. It looks like you're going to be good. Sitting in that 84 to, that might be you know what? It's going to be a beautiful night. I'm actually jealous. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful night. Adam says he's going to the game as well. 84, 82. You're sitting in that 82 range, sitting at the ballpark. That's going to be a good day at the office, man. Hopefully they win. That's step number 2 is winning the baseball game, huh? So I was listening yesterday afternoon to Mikey Miss. And Mikey Miss was not happy with the Phillies organization for taking Alec Boehm and putting him in the minors right now to play Ronald Torreyes. And he believes that, with a young player like Alec Boehm, what you should be doing is just playing him every day at third base. Every day at third. That's your job. Don't worry about it. Don't stress out. Don't focus on needing to make every single little play. And if you make a mistake, you're not going to be in the lineup the next day. Alec Boehm, you're playing. Don't worry about it. You're playing. And it did seem it was more anti-Ronald Torreyes than it was Alec Boehm. But there was a part of it as well where, there is about the growth of Alec Boehm long-term being more of a important piece to the pie, if you will, an important piece to the puzzle than winning some baseball games right now, because it seems this Philly squad is basically dead once again. I think that there's an accountability factor here of Alec Boehm. You can't continue to play him when you're making that many miserable plays defensively. And one thing I disagreed with Mikey Miss on was he said he's not that bad at third base. He can still make the plays. He still makes plays. Dude, he's bad. He's bad at third base. I feel he was giving him too much credit for the plays that he makes at third base. I don't know if he can make simple plays at third base. Quite frankly, I know he can't make simple plays at third base. I think there's accountability factor. You're not playing well. And this is the Major League Baseball. And if you're not playing well, you're not going to play. And you probably are not going to be beneficial coming off the bench for 5, 6 random ass at-bats. So let's get you some real at-bats. Work on your timing. Work on your front foot. Work on that fastball. And I don't like this narrative either that, well, this long stretch of 300, like, hey, he's turning it around. He was hitting 300, or he's not hitting too bad in a certain window. Yeah, but there's no significance to those hits. Those hits do not have a lot of pop to them. And I'm not even referencing just the home run, even though, yes, that is a big-time element to this with Alec Boehm. But it also just comes down to they're so not impactful hits. A little dinky poke the other way. Oh, now he's hitting a better average. Yeah, but no, that's not what Alec Boehm needs to do. His batting average is very flawed. His batting average doesn't really tell you how ugly it's been for Boehm. That's where I'm at with that. I think that I think it's just a little bit in the overreaction of he can't go down to Triple A, and this is the Phillies not managing him right. He's not playing well. I mean, he's not playing well. At some point, we got to hold the professional athlete accountable. He's not playing well. I'm not a crazy MLB fan like I am in other sports. Is Alec Boehm the worst infielder in baseball? If not, why is anybody worse than him still on an MLB team? I mean, yeah, I mean, as you admitted, you're not a big MLB fan, so I gotcha. It's funny. You don't really know too much about him as a player, I would imagine, or maybe I'm wrong by making that assessment. I'm just going off of the way that you made your opening statement. Last year, my man was literally in the running for Rookie of the Year and basically almost won it. So you're going from one extreme to the next. His timing's just off. I hate how he's handling things emotionally, too. I wonder if he was better from that aspect, if he was better from a body language perspective. If you could see that he wasn't as defeated, would he stay? But last year, he hit 338. He did not have the power that we were looking for with only 4 home runs, but he only played 44 games because it was a shortened season. This year, he's got 7 dingers. I remember one of them coming off of a utility player that I can't put any stock into. So it was bad power wise. Power wise this season. Looking at his numbers, and last year he was in the running for Rookie of the Year. So, Brodes, would I go to the Angels Phillies next year? Yeah, I mean, sure. If I had the availability to, if it was a game that I could have the time to go to, absolutely. I'm not against going to any Phillies game. Angels, Orioles. I don't even care if the Orioles come to town. If I'm going to the ballpark, I enjoy going down to the ballpark. I think it's such a beautiful atmosphere, man. I love it down there. It's such a good time. But there's different modes for me. I've been through this before, but I have different modes. I'm in work mode, and I'm in let's kick back and just relax the day and go for an enjoyment standpoint, and not so much I have to study the game mode. So lately when I've been going, it's been more of that let's just chill, enjoy the environment, enjoy the company, hang out with my friends, hang out with my fiance, like go into the game just as a pure fan and enjoying the scenery, the hot dogs, the beer. And then there's, all right, let's see what we got here tonight, fellas. Let's watch who's on the mound. Let's get into it. Let's get intense. There's a couple different ways to attack the ballpark. When you just go and take your mind off of it and don't go in work mode, it really is fantastic. Hard for me to do, though, but I can pull the switch in the right direction when needed. Yeah, Aaron, you know what? I actually am thinking about that. That's interesting you bring this up. So Aaron says, am I thinking about going to the All-Star game when it comes here in Philly? When I saw the All-Star game this year, when I watched the Home Run Derby, one of my buddies, Shelfie, who is a big part of this program, big part of Brodes Media here as he does his Shelfie Showdowns. He goes there and he goes every single year. And I saw all of his videos and I was watching the atmosphere on TV. I told my fiance, I want to go. I want to make that almost a thing that we do where every All-Star game, we go to that city. We hang out for maybe a couple of days before the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby. And we do that. We got our wedding coming up next summer, our honeymoon. So I don't know exactly when that's going to start or if that's ever going to start, but I really wanted to do it so much. So I looked up the rest of the All-Star games that are listed and I totally forgotten. It slipped my mind. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. It's in Philly in a couple years. So who knows? Maybe that's the year that sparks everything. That's the one year. Yeah, Evan, I do want to give condolences to the Hayes family, to Jimmy Hayes's family, to his wife, to his kids. That is just one of the most crushing stories. Heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. I have some friends that played at Boston College that are extremely close to the Hayes family. And I remember when I looked down and saw that on my phone, my instant reaction of like a gasp and sadness that hit me instantly. Just terrible. So definitely prayers to the family involved and to everybody, close friends, the hockey community, the Boston community. Just devastating. Absolutely devastating. And it's always hard, obviously, to transition out of something like that. But yeah, horrible. Absolutely horrible. Uh, Justin Fowler continues on with the Angels discussion. Though, goes Mike Trout versus Bryce Harper is going to be insane next year. That's if Mike Trout's even available. He's banged up right now, so who knows if you ever see them even play. If you ever see them play, who knows if Mike Trout will even be there. Shelfie and Plouffe in Colorado. Never forget when he walked the Dodgers in the walked off the Dodgers in the 16th inning. Shelfie's the man. Shelfie's the absolute man. His content when he goes to those events and whatnot is just fantastic. If you guys aren't following Shelfie, make sure you do. It's funny. A lot of people are in my comments when I upload Shelfie showdowns. Who the hell is this? Who is this guy? Who's Shelfie? Who's Shelfie? Who's Shelfie? Who's Shelfie? What you talking about? Who's Shelfie? One of the GOATs. All right, Jim says, if we sold at the deadline, I could see at this point about Bohm, but if we're signaling a run at the division, you can't give up easy outs. That's exactly a great way to put it, Jim. You're right. If they sold and they committed to, we don't really care what happens. We really don't give a shit who is playing because we're selling our players right now and we're trying to rebuild and retool. We'll give Alec Bohm every opportunity to kind of work himself out of this jam. And to be honest with you, he's had plenty of time. He's had plenty of playing time to prove I'm out of this. I'm going to will my way out of this slump. It's not as if they gave him zero opportunities. They definitely did give him chance over chance over chance over chance. He just failed. Once you say, hey, we're in this thing, yeah. And I get it. Ronald Torreyes is not some stud, but he's simple. He's simple. He's not going to give you that 270 batting average forever. Yeah, sometimes it gets overexposed. And you're seeing it with Brad Miller, and you see it with plenty of other players that play way more time than they're supposed to. A utility player that plays every handful of games, a full effort like that, yeah, you get the explosiveness of Ronald Torreyes in a short spurt. Bang, real quick, bang, real quick, bang, real quick. Little bit of energy, and you can keep that up over 162. When you play this long, yeah, it gets a little bit to the point where you get exposed. But I'll be honest, I expected that to happen probably about 4 months ago at Ronald Torreyes. He's kept it up for a while. So when it does happen, or if it does happen, yeah, I mean, it probably will. But I'll tell you what, he did a hell of a job keeping himself above water for this amount of time because it's crazy. He's hitting what? 260 right now. If you go to his game log, I think it's going to tell you that the last few games have been a little bit, see, no hits. In his last 4 games, no, 4 out of the last 6, he's been hitless. 4 out of the last 6, he was hitless. But before that, 1 hit, 3 hit, 1 hit, 1 hit, 1 hit. He went on a 5-game hitting streak. And one of those hits in Arizona, one of those games, he had 2 hits and scored a run. Had a double. An RBI. I don't know. I'm not Mr. Pro Ronald Torreyes forever, but to make the argument that Alec Bohm deserves to play over Torreyes, I don't know if that's the case. The 260 batting average for Torreyes seems way more impactful than where Alec Bohm is right now. Yes, Danny. Andrew McCutchen struck out 5 times last game. 4 of those were swinging Ks, and he just looked overpowered and overmatched. We've seen Kutch go through some ugly spurts this year, and we've seen him snap himself out of it. So I just think it's probably going to be a case of that. He's getting older, so when he does get down in the dumps and when his game does dip in the other direction, probably a little bit harder for him to maneuver out of it. I still anticipate him getting out of it. But when he does fall down and when his statistics do dip, he's getting older in his career. Maybe they last a little bit longer before that good Andrew McCutchen shows its head again. He went through a nice spurt this season. I know it's in there. I've seen the OPS rise in a big, big way. I saw his power numbers come alive in a big, big, big way. I know it's in there. It's just right now we're getting one of those funks. We need Kutch to be lethal when you're thinking about someone who can bat, 6th in your lineup or so? If you think about it, Odubel, Gene Segura, Bryce Harper, Rhys Hoskins, JT, you have that Kutch. I know JT batted cleanup the other day and Rhys batted after him, but let's just go with that in theory. And then, you got Kutch or Didi, and Didi's been brutal. Didi's been bad. Real bad. Real bad. You know, I had hoped that maybe that 3 or 4 game stretch of power would maybe stick. I don't think so. I don't think so. Mikey says that Therese' defense is worth it. So sound in the infield. Yeah, but at the same time, you know, if you're looking big picture, no, right? I mean, it's nice because of what the alternative is this season, which is an absolute disaster at third base in Alec Boehm. But ultimately, you know, you're not going to live and die on the Ronald Torreyes train. It's more just fun. It's comical right now because it's Ronald frickin' Torreyes. But long term, you know, we can't be taking this out of proportion and blowing it up where now we're talking about Ronald Torreyes legitimately. No, it's crazy that he's been this well for this long. It's crazy that we're playing with house money to this level. We take it for what it is, but we can't exaggerate it and take it to this next step. Why is no one talking about firing Joe Dillon? Phillies can't hit fastballs this year. I mean, I feel that's your every year it's something, right? I mean, we did this with Malley. Every year it's something else, you know. And I'm not telling you the hitting coach is the is the best in the world and this is just fantastic and this is amazing. But every year it's we need to fire the hitting coach. We need to fire the pitching coach when things go wrong every year. And then we talk about we need to fire the manager. Gabe Kapler needs to be fired. Joe Girardi needs to be fired. The next manager needs to be fired. The pitching coach fired. Everyone fired. Every year, that person needs to be fired. This person needs to be fired. I'm ready to start looking at the team. I'm ready to start looking at the club more than I am the surrounding pieces. That's my personal opinion. I just wanted to look at when he got hired. He was hired in 2019 because he was with the Nats before. But I just forgot what year they actually hired him. So it's been 2 seasons. One of them was a shortened season. So, you know. Or would it technically be 3 seasons? Because if he did he was hired in November 2019. So he did the 2019 season, the 2020 season, and this would be the 21 season. Did Franco get DFA'd? I didn't see that. Poor Franco, huh? Hung in there as long as possible. Hung in there as long as he possibly could, huh? Michael Franco no longer? Wow, how disappointing. Our guy, one of our key pieces to success, one of our build the franchise around him type of guy, the best 8-hole hitter in all of baseball. Oh, the best 8-hole hitter in baseball. That run was hysterical. Yeah, Jim, this comment's made basically every year. Let's bring Charlie back again. Let's bring Charlie back. Charlie back. Charlie back. Charlie back. We did that last year. Let's bring Charlie back. There's always something. Let's bring Charlie back. Amazing. Can Charlie pitch? Can Charlie hit? Oh, yeah, he probably can. Shame on me for questioning if he can hit. I wasn't legitimately questioning. It was more, can he do everything? That's all. Can he do everything? Bring him back and make him play eighth. That's funny. We could have Galvis and Franco back. Oh, man. Third base and shortstop. Could you imagine? And could you imagine if they made a playoff run going with that? That's absolutely hysterical, to be honest with you. I can't believe it. Michael Franco with the helmet flying off with the hair when he's taking a monster swing. Or Odubel does the same thing, to be honest with you, as well, which is just kind of funny considering those two were once looked at as the promised land. A Michael Franco homer and a trot around the bases. It's been quite some time. Geez, then we get Tommy Joseph and Cesar Hernandez back. That's pretty funny. Dude, Cesar Hernandez has some pop this year. If you go to Cesar Hernandez and you look at his stats this season, I think he's got over 20 bombs, and he had 20 bombs he's got 20. He's sitting on 20. So it's been a while then, huh, since he's hit a homer? Is he hurt? Because it's been a while then since he's hit a bomb. Unless it just makes sense because of his number. Let's see. Now he's been playing. So his last home run, was August 7th. So we're almost playing on 20 days. That makes a lot of sense. He hit back-to-back dingers in games August 6th, August 7th. He hasn't hit one since. And prior to that, it was July 28th. But 20 homers for Cesar Hernandez. Incredible. Like, what universe are we talking about here? That's truly embarrassing getting DFA'd by the Orioles. Well, I think that there's, yeah, I mean, I guess you're right there. You're definitely right. But you can't say the decisions made by the Orioles are good ones in general. And that's not to tell you that Mike Franco deserves to stay. That's not what I'm saying. Just anything they elect to do right now, whatever. None of it actually has value with their decision making because it's so absurd and it's so out there for sure. You shut your mouth, MJ. You shut your mouth with the Sean Rodriguez. I couldn't stand that fool. He was such a hate the face. What did he say? The Phillies fans seem entitled. This guy got booed every time he came up to the plate after that. That's so funny. Like, are you dumb? Why would you say that? What is going through your brain when you tell us that the Phillies fans seem entitled? You're bad at baseball. You're only here because your boy, Gabe Kapler, is trying to get you involved with this prestigious club, if you will, of Major League Baseball with service time. You're bad. You're horrendous. You don't perform. You stink. You don't deserve a roster spot. Yet the Phillies fans seem entitled. Vincent says walk-off homer, though. I'm going to go watch that. I'm going to go watch that right now. I honestly, I remember it happening. I don't remember it, though, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying that just because it's him. I literally don't remember who it was against. I don't remember what the count was. Oh, we got. Wow. I type in Sean Rodriguez walk-off, and the third video on the list is me from 1 year ago. Sean Rodriguez criticizes the Phillies' entitled fan base after hitting a walk-off home run. Oh, so he felt entitled after the bomb. After the bomb. So he hit the bomb and then he was feeling high emotionally and hit us with that quote afterwards. What a joke. What a joke. What a joke. Handle your emotions, you clown. All right, let's see here. Where's this walk-off bomb? Oh, here's Bryce. Here we go here. Hold on. Bottom 10. Here he is. Look at that guy. Here it is. 1-2 count, bottom 11. Rope to the left field wall. It's gone! Sean, I have no idea what I'm doing. Rodriguez! That's a first career? I can't tell if he says first or... I think he says fourth. But that doesn't make sense. Now Rodriguez belts a walk-off homer in return to the Bucks. So he does have one when he played for the Buccaneers. Fourth makes sense. He does have a tenured career. Ew. Here's one against the Padres in 17. Wow, that was crushed. I can't give him that type of respect. That ball was annihilated. No, you make me sick. What am I doing? The last thing I thought about today waking up would be Sean Rodriguez walk-offs. You know? Like, what a sick joke. I know it's a dead time in sports, okay? I know it's a dead time and there's not a lot going on. The last thing that I am going to do is watch Sean Rodriguez walk off bombs, and that's exactly what just happened. So I'm sick. I blame you. You all are assholes. That's what it comes down to. You are the problem. There's no way that should happen. Can't be my fault. Unbelievable. I can't believe that just happened. Cody Ashe, Cameron Rupp. Ridiculous. Some of these names, fellas. Brandon Workman, David Robertson. These are making me sick. I actually like Corey Dickerson. If it was up to me, I would have brought Corey Dickerson back to play some left field and all. That was actually an acquisition that I liked. He's a good bat. You know, he's a good bat to have. You bring some pop to your lineup. This year, what's he have, though? Keep in mind, you know, you're playing for the Miami Marlins. Or he got traded to the Toronto Blue Jays. But he's hitting What's he hitting this year? He's hitting 307? Dude, MLB, no, he's hitting 257. MLB.com is the worst for stats. Like, it is the worst. That should never be a thing. He's hitting 257 this year. 4 bombs. Expected a little bit more pop than that, but I guess that's kind of maybe where he's at in his career. Like, when he was with the Phillies, he had 8 bombs, 34 homers, but he was just touching a 300 batting average. So a bit of a dip here for this season. Yeah, Baseball Reference is absolutely 5,000 times better than anything related to MLB.com. Breaking news. Brodes discontinues Coffee with Brodes after it leads him to watch Sean Rodriguez highlights at 9:30 a.m. That's absolutely amazing. By the way, there's no highlights in that sentence. I just threw that in there randomly. I don't know why I would do that. Why would my brain throw a word in a sentence that wasn't even there? That's amazing. What else is amazing is how dead of a sports time it is. We're waiting for Friday's game for the Eagles, right? And we don't even know if there's going to be any starters playing. Is Jalen Hurts going to play? Is he not going to play? Would I play him? Yeah, I would. I'd play the starters at the minimum a quarter, at the maximum maybe a half. That's probably what I would do. I'm in that somewhere in between a quarter and a half is what I want to see the starters for in preseason week 3. My guess, though, is they're not going to do it at all. I actually watched the first episode of Hard Knocks last night, even though I know that there are a couple episodes in. I believe there were 2 on the HBO Max app, but I watched the first one, and they were talking about Zeke and giving him no touches in the game. He's like, we don't need to give him any touches. Why would we give him touches? He has a lot of carries in his career. We know what he's about. There's no reason at all to run Zeke Elliott. And it's just the motto these days. It's just the mentality of a lot of teams. Why? Why play these players? There's no reason to. Well, it kind of sucks. Kind of sucks. I would play them. You got to get some sort of mojo. It's different if you're the Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Brady, the Drew Brees, the Peyton Mannings. You know, if you're one of those quarterbacks, okay, yeah, you know what? Maybe you don't have to play them. Even though some of them still do get a little bit of reps. Jalen Hurts has 4 football games under his belt. 4. You're telling me it's not important to get into rhythm with Devontae, to get into rhythm with Quez, and doing it more than just practice time? Yeah, there's definitely a factor in practicing against another team. And having those joint practices are definitely important, and they play a role in that toughness and that juice involved. You know what, though? Nothing duplicates game action. Nothing duplicates being under center and knowing that there's another team that can pressure you and actually hit you. Please. It's a different beast. Hold on one second. I got to answer this text message. Okay, sorry about that. Where was I? Eagles football. Brodes, do you think that Fogle makes the team? ITB? That's interesting. You just bring up ITB. I was just actually answering Moshe. They have one of the best podcasts out there, man. If you're a big Eagles fan, you should be listening to Inside the Birds every single damn day that it drops. And you can find them on YouTube now where they've been implementing their video for quite some time, not just the audio podcast, but the YouTube version as well. But yeah, it's an amazing listen. They're so damn locked in, and they have so many great sources and so much to tell you about. But yeah, I mean, it's up in the air for sure. It's up in the air. I don't know. It's weird that he went from he could be one of your best wide receivers, right? After that 4-game stretch to nothing. But there's a reason why. This is the second regime now that's questioning what he is. There's a reason for that. You know? And there's a reason why he's been cut around the block a bit, and he's been on multiple different teams, and he was with the Lions and he was with other squads, and now he found his way on the Eagles. Like, there's got to be truth to what we saw or what we heard last year, where maybe the practice habits are bad and he's not earning those reps, and He's not out competing a player like Quez Watkins or some of these other wide receivers right now that are making some run at it, making some juice. It seems like if the Eagles keep 6 wide receivers, then it's going to be Fulgham or J-Jaw that gets cut. Yeah, I mean, if I had to choose between J-Jaw or Fulgham to cut, I'm cutting J-Jaw over Fulgham. That's just my personal opinion. They see them practice way more. They might see way more than I see. They might see some just practice habits that they don't like attitude-wise from Travis Fulgham that might make them look in another direction if they're trying to build the right culture that they're looking for, right? They know more than me, but ultimately, if we're starting to have these type of discussions, if we get to the J-Jaws and the Fulghams of the world again, then we're probably going to be in a disaster anyway, if you really think about it. I had a caller on the Fanatic over the weekend who called in just complaining about Elijah Holyfield. Why aren't they keeping Elijah Holyfield? Why isn't he a part of this back group? Why isn't he going to be in the running? Why isn't he going to be in the top 3 spot? Yo, 111. Calm down. It's Elijah Holyfield. If we start talking about Elijah Holyfield to that level throughout this season, we're probably in a horrible spot as it is. We're probably not very happy. The team probably blows and is extremely banged up, with all due respect to Elijah Holyfield. And that position, why are you so obsessed with that position? You can pluck and pick anyone and put them in that spot, and it's an easier position to fill. Can't pick anyone. I was going a little bit too extreme there. But my point is, with any position of being able to find someone the easiest, it's the running back position. Do I think they trade Dillard? I've been hearing so much conflicting reports on Andre Dillard and what his value is. I heard that you can get a 4th. And then I hear, what would you get, a 7th? You know what I mean? So I had Rob Motti on the Fanatic, and I'll read you his quote word by word here. So he said, what are you actually going to get in return for Dillard? A 7th-round pick? I'd rather hold on to him and trust that Jeff Stoutland to get him right. If there's anyone who can get something out of a lineman, it's Jeff Stoutland. So Rob's saying, what are you going to get, a 7th-round pick? Don't just throw him away to throw him away. And I agree with that. If it's a 7th-rounder, yeah, I'm not trading Andre Dillard. If it's in that 4th-round possibility, though, and that's what I'm seeing around some of the other possibilities, is a 4th or a 5th. I don't know, 5th, 6th, 7th, maybe not. Who's giving up a 4th for an Andre Dillard? That's what a lot of people would question right now with maybe a stank face. It's the left tackle position. And we're spoiled here in Philadelphia to think it's easy to find left tackles. It's not. There's a lot of desperate teams that would be willing to take an opportunity on a 1st-round draft pick. I don't know if it would be as high as a 4th. I'm not going too far here and saying that that's what they're get. It might be more of that later round 5-ish, and I don't know if that's what it is. Would that be worth it? I don't know. I don't know, because if Andre Dillard needs to play because your starting left tackle goes down, well, that's going to matter. Who's going to be your opposite? Is it Toth? Who's going to be your alternative? Toth? If Jordan Mailata goes down, is that okay? I saw Brandon Lee Gouton of Bleeding Green Nation say they might be just as good of an option as Dillard. Well, if that's the case, then yeah. If it's not the case, the problem is Dillard has no versatility. It's left tackle. I don't know. See, I thought so too, Connor, because Connor says I think they could easily get a 4th. I thought so too until I started hearing and talking to people around the league and all. I don't know if that's true. And it's crazy, right? Left tackle, still young, 1st-round pick. And at the time of the draft, people say like, oh, they botched this one and they screwed it up. I mean, why did they go get him? Because there was a fear that another team would go up and grab the left tackle and Andre Dillard. There was fear that maybe he would be selected. So was it an overdraft, or is he just not panning out because he's not succeeding and taking the next jump personally and he can't handle it emotionally? Right? I mean, just because someone doesn't end up working out, if you go back to where he was projected to be drafted and why they even went to go grab him that way, what could you get if you package Dillard and Ertz together? Well, I mean, it comes down to financially. Now you're talking about Ertz's contract. So that opened up a whole new layer of things, because what are teams going to – teams don't want to pay Zach Ertz that money. That's the problem. They don't want to pay Zach Ertz that money. Jake doesn't see how his value is any higher than a 5. A tackle just got traded for a 7, and it seems he would bring the same to the table as Dillard, if not more. Yeah, I mean, Dillard just doesn't have a lot of tape to go off of, a lot of games played, and clearly if he's losing the battle, and to be fair, like he lost the battle to someone who might be a left tackle for a long period of time as a franchise left tackle. So, and that's not putting too high of a bar on Jordan Mailata, but I'm just saying, like, it's possible that Dillard, we're looking at Dillard as, oh man, he just lost a job. But you're talking about losing a job to potentially someone that's going to hold the fort down for a legitimate amount of time. Is that as much of a slap in the face as it seems from the surface? I just don't know if no one even knows. No one even knows about Andre Dillard. There's not enough to truly go off of other than what he did at Washington in 4 games, and one of those being at right tackle where he was a disaster, and he can't play right tackle. That doesn't mean he can't play left tackle. I think there's more in there than people give him credit for. I do. And all it takes is one team to feel the same way. Yeah, I go back and forth with this all the time. If you miss on your first, but you get your franchise guy in the 7th, do you get credit for that? Do you get bashed for that? Does it wash each other out? Where do you fall as a general manager, as a franchise, for missing your first pick at left tackle, but landing your future at left tackle in the 7th? It's not probably, it is. It's harder to find a franchise guy in the 7th round than it is to miss in the first round. You know what I mean? Or you know what I'm saying? Like, or am I saying that the right way? It's harder to find a player in the 7th round than it is to miss in the first. Am I even saying that right now? I'm confusing myself. Anyway, well, no, they didn't get bailed out. Why did they get bailed out? That's totally devaluing. No, I disagree with that completely. That's not them getting bailed out. So you're saying that they put no analysis and no time and no effort in Jordan Mailata, and they were like, whatever. No, they took Jordan Mailata for a reason, because they knew and they felt that they could groom him and grow him into a special player, and they did that. It's not just random as hell. They put in the effort to make that happen. You're just devaluing what they did to acquire Jordan Mailata and to make him a starting left tackle. Absolutely ridiculous to say that statement. Dillard isn't versatile at all. That's the issue. To have a tackle there to be basically your first man up if something was to go wrong and he can only play one position, yeah, that's an issue. That's definitely not going to help out at all. Do I do coffee with Brodes in a different room? No, I do it in the same room. I do coffee with Brodes in the same room, and I just zoom in a bit more. And we are talking about some ideas, though, for football season with Coffee with Brodes to kind of, change it around a little bit, add something new, add something fresh, give it a whole new look, give it a dynamic little look here to change it around a bit for football season. But there's 95 billion different ideas that roll through my head every single day. So for whatever that's worth, that is reality of the situation. We'll see what ends up happening. Is our third down issue in preseason worth a concern in the regular season? Something to write down. Right? I have notes of things I've seen in the preseason that I don't know if it relates to regular season or not, and that falls on the list. Now I know NBC Sports Philadelphia had up a story about third down troubles. Okay, this is from Ruben Frank. The Eagles have a third down problem. Actually, they have 2 of them. And preseason or not, starters or not, Nick Sirianni is not happy about it. The Eagles were 0 for 8 on third down in the preseason opener against the Steelers, and 2 for 10 Thursday night against the Patriots. The Steelers were 11 for 17, and the Patriots were 5 for 9. That's 2 for 18 on offense, 16 for 26 on defense. So it's been problematic on both sides of the football if you are the Eagles on third down. You can't stop the third downs, and you can't get the third downs. I don't know if this is going to necessarily be a huge issue in the regular season because, well, your starters being out there on both sides of the ball matter, running actual plays and not keeping it very simple and very basic and very vanilla plays a big role in it as well. So, that's definitely a side of this also. I don't know. It's on the list of things to look at, though. I have a list of things I'm trying to study to figure out who this team is, who their coach is, what is going on with Nick Sirianni and everybody else. That is on the list. Ranger needs more pitches. Yes, to go back to the Phillies a little bit here. That is very true. As a starter, he needs to work on adding a pitch. Definitely. If he's going to start, he's going to have to add a pitch to the repertoire. I'm excited to see how Ranger Suarez bounces back, though, after last game. Last game, he got beat up pretty good, right? Contact was being made. Balls were being put in play. Squared up pretty good as well. I mean, he was getting hit constantly, and there was good contact on these swings. So, will he be able to be better today against the Tampa Bay Rays squad? I love the Rays, man. I love the Rays. They make no sense. That's why I'm obsessed with them. I don't know how a team like the Tampa Bay Rays succeed in the division that they are in. It blows my mind, and it's so damn entertaining. Zach wants to know if I agree with Bohm going to AAA. How can you not, right? I mean, how can you not? He's been a disaster. He's been bad, and he's been wearing it poorly, too. It's more of an accountability thing. Everybody wants accountability. And then when accountability happens, everybody doesn't want it anymore. Well, you got to let him work through it. You got to let him earn his stripes. You got to let him earn his respect. Well, you got to hold him accountable. Well, which one is it? Which one is it? You have to hold him accountable, or is it you just let him play every single day? If you bought at the deadline to get Kyle Gibson, to get Ian Kennedy, to get Freddie Galvis, you told everybody we are in let's go win mode. We are in let's win the division mode. So you got to do everything right to give yourself the best advantage to win on any field at 7 p.m. any night. What gives this team the best chance to win? Unfortunately, the answer is Ronald Torreyes, which makes me sick. But yes. We need the Bohm of last season. Well, man, if we had the Bohm of last season, we're talking about a totally different squad. We're talking about totally something different. All right, the last couple comments here before we start shutting things down and shutting the stream down. William says, well, as soon as the Braves play an MLB caliber team, they lose. Yes and no. I mean, you go on a 9-game win streak, and they won a lot of games. But that's part of their schedule. Beat the teams ahead of you. The Braves do that way more successfully than the Phillies do that. So I'm not going to knock them for it at all. While the Phillies are getting swept in Arizona, the Braves are winning the teams or beating the teams that they are supposed to beat. They're winning the games they are supposed to win. I can't discredit them for that, knowing the alternative is exactly what happened with the Phillies. That Diamondback series is going to be a defining moment. Whether you like it or not, we're going to look back at that series and say that is what killed the Phillies season right there. But William continues, says, I do need to give them credit beating the teams that they see. That's funny. I didn't even get to the bottom half of your comment yet, and that's exactly the direction that I was going to go into. It's the truth, though. While the Phillies can't do it, they can. Here's a random-ass Sixers comment that we haven't even spoke Sixers in a bit of time. It seems like Dame wants to leave, but he may start with the Blazers, and then Ben may stay with us. Or we flip him in a trade that leads to Dame. I don't know. I don't know what's happening with the Ben Simmons drama. I don't. I knew it was going to be long. I knew it was going to be drug out. It was going to be dragged out. It was going to be a long off season of this report, that report. Now we're hearing from another source that he's not going to show up to training camp. I think what we're going to deal with is the Damian Lillard, what we thought was going to happen in Portland, where like Ben Simmons is going to force out. He's going to pull the James Harden. The problem is he doesn't hold the cards the same way James Harden did, but we're going to see a Ben Simmons. That's my feel on this. That's my pulse on this. That's what I'm feeling. That's the pulse I'm feeling on the Ben Simmons drama is he's going to demand out and not show up, where we might have to sell him for less than what we want to because he won't be there. We'll see, though. This is a stretch, but what do you think is a better chance, winning the division or making the wild card? Oh, geez. I mean, I know the wild card has been, and we're gonna take a look at where the teams are with Cincinnati, with San Diego. I don't know. I don't feel good about either of them. That's just my personal opinion. They're 5 games back of the division, of the wild card. And I think they're 5 games back of the division too, no? They're 5 games back in both. No, 4.5 games back of the Braves for the division, 5 games back for the wild card. I guess I'll say division's probably I feel better about because you're only playing against one team, where the other you're playing against multiple teams. So I'll say probably winning the division I'd feel better about, but I don't feel good about either of them. I don't feel good at all about either of them. So with that being said, I'm going to end the stream here. I want to thank everybody so much for hanging out with me today on this Tuesday morning. We got Phillies action tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. Over the next handful of days, I'm going to have some exciting news. I'll just leave it at that. I can't say anything yet, but when I am able to say something, it's going to be a lot of fun. So in the next couple of days, I'll have an announcement. I'm pumped up for it. It's going to be great. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to sharing the news with you all. And look, I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out. It's August 24th. Phillies aren't playing games like they were off yesterday. It's not as if it's the most crazy sports time in the world. And you guys are hanging out with me every morning and having my cup of coffee. It feels great. I can't thank you guys enough for all the crazy support. All right. Thank you guys. And I will catch you later on.